Hey, I didn't know you were here. So hey, I like playing games. You like playing games? Everybody likes playing games, right? Especially this time of COVID. We have nothing going on. We have to stay at home. So, so we thought this month or this week, let's do a cool win project where you design a game, but not just any game. This game has to somehow be able to teach your little brothers and sisters, aunts and uncles, and well, your older aunts and uncles, and everybody else in your family, what you're learning in school. You're learning some cool stuff, and reading and writing. You're learning some pretty cool stuff in art, pretty creative stuff, math, some stuff that you're going to use throughout your life, and science, of course, is always cool. Duh, right? So you're going to take all that stuff and you're going to make a game based on what you're learning. So they're going to have questions that you're going to ask whoever's playing, so that they can move along through the course of the game and have a winner at the end. All right? So you are going to make a game. It could be based on a game you already know, like Monopoly or Yahtzee. It could be a murder mystery. Ooh, those are fun. It could be a fun game, Malarkey. It could be a really smart and intellectual type game. Or it could be like Minecraft too, which is, that's incorporating all of that. So next, I'll work through the directions with you on what we want you to do with this project, and I'll go over the rubric. We practiced using a rubric last time, so we're going to use a rubric again. You want to get a good grade, you want to follow that rubric. So stay tuned. I'm going to walk through the directions and the rubric so that you do a fantastic, fabulous, and fun job. Do a good job that's fun on this project. All right? All right. Cool. Well, stay tuned. I'll be right with you. Don't leave this video. Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. As promised, here I am to explain the Win Time project, the directions, and the rubric that you will use to get a great grade from us. All right. So this week's project is going to be a game. You are going to develop a fun learning game to teach all the cool stuff you're learning in your classes. Pretty cool, I think. So let me read the description for you. So for this week's Win project, you will design a fun learning game that includes all you have learned in each of your classes: ELA, math, art, and science. This can be a board game, a video game, an adventure game, any kind of game you want to make. All right. You can model your game after a game you already know. So if you know Monopoly, make it after Monopoly. If you know Yahtzee, make it after Yahtzee. Or you can make up a game completely on your own. And for example, where am I? Over here. This game right here. Let's see, I got to look this way. This game right here is just a simple board game. Just make a board game, right? And something that players can move across the board and answer questions to move ahead certain spaces. Something as simple as that. All right. Or if you want to be fancy creative, do it. All right. Be creative. That's what it says there. Be creative, it says. All right. I'm going to move up. There's 5 requirements. 5 requirements for this. Okay. First, you need to write an informational paragraph that describes your game. So make sure that you have spelling. It makes sense. Read it to yourself out loud. That's important to do. Read it out loud to yourself after you finish it, and fix anything that sounds weird. Because if it sounds weird to you, guess what? It's going to sound weird to us and anybody else who reads your writing. All right. Second, explain the procedures or directions for playing the game. This is important in science. You need to be able to make procedures for doing something. So you're going to explain how to play the game. All right. That'll be a separate thing. Third, design a point system for playing and winning the game. So how are these people going to be moving across your board or going to next levels or whatever it is to end up and possibly win the game? Okay. Fourth, create an artistic design for your game. using what you've learned in art, elements of color, elements of lines. So warm and cool colors, I think you're covering, right? So I want your game to include those. Maybe have some contrasting, warm, cool, warm, cool. Use your elements of lines. All right, you're going to incorporate all those. We're not all artists, and I don't think Miss Mitchell wants us all to be artists. And although she probably think it's cool, I think she just wants you to appreciate art. That's what I would like you to do too, is appreciate the art. So give it a try. Find out what artists do when they do this type of artwork. All right, we're on 5th. Include a minimum of 8 questions to move players across the board. You don't have to create a big stack of cards that have questions on them. Just come up with 8. The thing is, though, those 8 cards, it has to have at least one question from each one of each one of your classes. So, at least one from science, at least one from math, at least one from art, and at least one from ELA. But there needs to be 8 questions total. All right. Make sure you provide answers to these questions too. And if you're doing math, make sure that's right. I'm not going to have you show the math, but it would be probably a good idea to do that so we can see how you're doing that math. All right, you're going to turn this in using Google Docs or Google Slides. It needs to be neat. It needs to be something that somebody would want to look at and read and want to play your game. Okay, if it's messy, I wouldn't want to play the game. So make it something somebody wants to play. We're going to have a rubric. I'm going to quickly go over the rubric, and I want you to read through it. So there's 15 points possible for this project. If you want to earn a 3, you have to get between 13 and 15 points. If you want to earn a 2, it's between 8 and 12 points. A 1 is 0 to 7. Nobody wants a 1. Don't even look at the 1 or the 0. There's a 0 here too. You don't want that, all right? So I'm going to go over the criteria that we are going to cover, and it's basically those 5 things I just talked about. Informational paragraph describing your game. Read this part right here to find out what it's going to take to get a 3. Make sure that you do that. All right. Second, procedures, the directions for playing the game. Clear and easy to follow procedures for playing the game with correct grammar, spelling, and punctuation. Make sure you do that. Uses concepts of colors and lines. The game designed and presented using elements of line and color, including warm and cool colors. I didn't plan on reading all these. I'm not going to do that. Create a point system. Read this to get a 3. Has at least 8 questions with answers. Read this to get a 3 there. We'll add all those up, and at the final, you should have between 13 and 15 points if you want to get a good grade. Check your work. All right, that's all I got. Get on it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. We'll help you. All right, take care, and have a great week.